So this is the first in a series of tutorials where I recreate popular or awesome or unique elements on other websites so that you can see how to do it and not copy what they did, but use that knowledge that you gained learning how to do it and create something unique for your own website or your client's website. And the way this is going to work is you guys are going to tell me what stuff you want recreated. And if I feel that the audience would like it, the broader audience would enjoy watching that and get value from it, I will create that tutorial. And this is the first one. In this tutorial, Sebastian has asked, I'm paraphrasing here, but he asked me to tell him or ask him if it's possible to recreate the header that Square has, where they have a menu at the top, they have their hero image, and then a menu at the bottom that is sticky when you scroll down the page. And I told Sebastian, yes, you can. And I made this video to show him how and anybody else who wants to see it. And we're getting started right now. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. It's Bjorn from WP Learning Lab, where we help change lives by teaching WordPress and giving you the ability to up your skills and earn more money for yourself and your family. And if you like that kind of thing, you like WordPress and tips and tricks and getting better at it, make sure you hit subscribe, then the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything, and make sure you check out our private Facebook group. There's a link in the description down below. With that out of the way, let's head into the screen capture. I'll see you there. So this is the page Sebastian was referring to. They have a menu at the top, and they have a logo and another menu. Actually, they have three menus at the top, and then they have a secondary menu below this nice big image. And when you scroll down, the top menu stays where it is, and the secondary menu is sticky, and it follows you down the page. And they don't have this on every page, just a few of the pages I've checked out. You can have this on every page by creating an Elementor template. I'm going to show you how to create this on one page, and which will probably be the home page in most cases. But we're going to recreate this right now in Elementor in the free version, I'm pretty sure. So on this site, all I have installed is the free version of Elementor and Gutenberg, because I'm trying to stay up to date. And I go to pages, and I have nothing going on here yet. If I go to the home page, you'll see what I have. And this 2017 raw, nothing going on. I'm gonna click on the down arrow for add new, click on Elementor, and let's see if we can recreate what Square has done. I'm actually gonna download their image too while I'm at it. It's a background image. I'm gonna inspect. I'm going to find the URL for the image on the right hand side here. There's probably an easier way, but this is how I know it. It's probably under hero. There's a bunch of URLs. I'll just take this one. See if this is our image. Get rid of that bracket on the end. And that is our image, quite large. I'm gonna save our image. Just throw it in here. Let's call this Square Hero. All right, so we're gonna try to make it look pretty much exactly like theirs. I'm not saying you should rip off what somebody else is doing, but I'm just showing you how to recreate what they have so you can choose or not choose to recreate those exact different things or edit them as you see fit. You get what I'm saying. So let's come into here, change our, just gonna get rid of that bar at the bottom. Change our layout to canvas so we have nothing cluttering our workspace. Now that we have our blank canvas, the first thing we want to do is add a section with 2 columns. And these 2 columns represent the middle part of this image. I see this as 3 sections. There's a top with the links and the icon or the logo. There's the middle with this text here and the button and the image. There's the bottom, which is going to be the menu. So we're going to build this middle spot and then overlay the top over top of that in a different section. That'll make more sense in just a minute. So let's build the middle. We have our middle right here, this 2 columns. Click on the 6 buttons here to add our background. Click on style, click on normal, click on classic, click on image, upload our Square hero, click on insert media. Actually first add alt text, so our HTML validates insert media. Let's just give this a height so we can see some more of our image here. Go to layout, min height. Well, I might change this later, but this is just so we can see what we're working with. So we have our image here. It's quite large. This image looks a little bigger than on their site, but we'll deal with that later. First, let's add our content. Let's start with a headline, I guess. It's a small headline. Put our text in here, all capitals. Go to style, let's make it white. It would be great if I could show two different screens in one video, but it's a little too cramped to do that. This looks a little too bold, so I'm going to put that down to normal. And let's inspect. Let's see if we have this exact font that they're using. Go to the inspector, see what kind of font they have going on. No indication of that specific font. Maybe they defined it as a default. Font family square market. That sounds like a custom square font. I doubt we have that. Not for sure that that is the font that's used there. Don't have square market. I'm just going to use Open Sans because Open Sans is pretty much everywhere except for square apparently. So we have our headline. Just going to copy this over. I'm going to add this as a text section. I'm just going to worry about getting the content in here first, and I'll worry about making it look exactly how they have it. So I don't want to have all that gray in there. Let's go to the HTML editor, paste that in. So it doesn't add any styles. Let's change the color to white. Let's make it bigger. It's quite a bit bigger than the heading font. It's also quite a lot thinner. Let's change this heading font size a little bit. Refer back. So we have it on 2 lines. And we have much a thinner font. That's about 2 lines, about like that. But our font family is much thinner. Let's see how Open Sans looks, because Open Sans is everywhere. Open Sans is pretty thick. If you know any really thin fonts, just yell them out right now. I won't be able to hear you. Let's change the margin at the top, or make sure it's 0. Make sure padding is 0. Make sure this one also has 0 and 0 everywhere. They clearly don't. Padding top. It's gotta be margin. Margin top of -10. Get those a little closer together because at their website they are quite close together. So let's ignore differences in font for now. And let's add our button. Drag and drop that over. Their button is blue, get a free reader, and we can actually get these colors quite easily. Copy the background color for the button. Get your free reader. Is it your or a? Get a free reader, all caps. Get a free reader. And the button size, it's about the same size, just the font is a little smaller and not bolded. Elementor seems to like bold fonts by default. And we're going to change the button color to the one we copied. And we're going to go get the hover color. We click on Hover here, we see the hover state, or we can choose the hover state. And now we have a new color here. Let's take that. And we go to hover, change our hover color to the one we just copied. And now we have a nice hovering effect there. It's very nice. Their text is, or their fonts is still a little bit smaller. Not on hover. Choose it on normal. A little bit smaller. There. That's pretty good. Now, for all intents and purposes, our middle section is looking pretty good. Pretty good. Let's keep that right there. We're going to now add an upper section up above here. So let's click on this plus. We're going to add a 3-column section. Because I see this as 3 columns. This menu, the icon, and this menu. Icon or logo, whatever you want to call it. So let's add these menus in here first. Let's, we don't have a menu created yet. Let's create the menu first. Let's do that. Let's go back to our dashboard. And I'm going to create the exact same menus they have. Go to Appearance and then Menus. Let's call this, it's all caps still, top nav left. Wow. There we go. Create menu. What we have is payments, point of sale, payroll, capital, more. Let's just add custom links. Payments. Payments, point of sale, capital, more. Good. I'm not going to add that to a menu option. Just going to click on Save Menu. I'm going to create a new menu, and it's going to be this one on the right, Sign In and Shop. So I'm going to call this Top Nav Right. Save to Menu, or Save Menu. And then we're going to create this one down here. Overview, Features, Tech Specs, Testimonials, Pricing. Save menu. Let's head back into Elementor. I'm going to click on Publish. Then I'm going to refresh just to make sure our new menus are pulled in before we add them up here. So up here, we're going to add the top nav left menu. Let's go to Menu, get the navigation menu, and top nav left. Beautiful. Now over here, let's put in the menu, navigation menu, and top nav right. Equally beautiful. See if we can adjust these a little bit. This should be possible in the free version, right? It might not be. It might not be. Can't add custom CSS right to here. So we're going to have to add custom CSS in the theme. So let's make these menus. Let's put this one up to the top first, what I was saying earlier. So let's get this up, go to Advanced, go to Margin. We're going to add a negative margin. Going to click on the link actually. So we're doing just the top. Let's add a negative margin of 50 pixels. Let's make it much more than that. Now the menus are disappearing. We're going to bring them to the front in just a minute. So let's hover. Let's go to the section for the menus, go to Advanced, change Z index to 1. Now they're out in front. Now we can't click the section. This is where it gets tricky with these overlapping things. You can't click on the section for this middle area because it's behind the menu. So whenever we want to select this section again, we got to change the Z index back to 0. That back and forth can be a bit of a pain. But either way, that's how we have to have our setup in order to have the background image that flows between sections. So let's go to Customize, because we're going to do some CSS in here. It's actually not where we're going to do it right away. So let's preview this. We're going to paste the CSS into Customize. We're going to do it in here first. So if we go to Advanced, we may not need IDs and classes for this. Just going to try it without first. So let's inspect this and let's edit some CSS right in here. So the first thing we want to do, make sure we are selecting the entire navigation menu, the UL. First thing we want is to get rid of the dots. So we want to change list style type to none. Dots gone. Boom. That easy. Now we want to select the LI and float to the left and add a margin right of 20 pixels. See how much they have. 20 could be right. We want to text transform uppercase, and we want to have a font size of 14 pixels. How much do they have? It's pretty small. Inspect. Font size of 11 pixels. So let's make it 11 pixels. And a color of white. And the color did not change. I'm gonna have to probably apply that to the link. I'll just delete the color from here for now. Okay, so what we have so far is applied to just one, so it doesn't make a lot of sense for what you're seeing here. But we're going to copy these styles into the customizer now. So for the UL, we have a menu ID of top or menu top nav left. So let's copy that. It's an ID, which means we have to use the pound icon. Inside customizer, go to additional CSS, use the pound, paste in the ID, open and close curly brackets, and then copy our one CSS rule and paste it in here. The next one, we now click on the LI. I'm just going to copy. Well, first I'll do it in customize. Okay, copy what we have here. And we're just going to use a downstream selector or a child selector. Just add an LI to the end. Now we're going to copy these styles. Put it in here, paste. And now we have these styles theoretically applied to the LI. Let's copy this. And now, don't do that, don't do that. Okay, now let's call this one LIA. Let's change the color to white. Let's click on Publish to update those changes. Now, if everything went well, I should be able to refresh and those styles should be applied here. If I didn't do that and I refresh, this would go back to whatever the default was. But now, if we're lucky, and we are, those are applied. More is in the second line because the width of this column is not quite right for that menu. We'll change that in a minute. Let's look at this menu. Let's inspect it. And we have our top nav right. So let's copy that. It's the exact same look on theirs. Both sides look the exact same. So let's head back into Customize. I'm going to add a comma. And then jump the gun there, pound, and then top nav menu right. And then for this one, I'm going to add pound, top nav menu right LI, and then comma, pound, menu top nav menu whatever right LIA. And now all these styles, that should be a pound, not an at. Now all these styles should be applied to the second menu, this one up here on the right. So let's refresh, and there we go. It is applied. So now I'm going to find a square logo because the one they have on their site is generated dynamically. It's not actually an image. I'm going to copy this into Photoshop and just make this white. I will be right back. Okay, I've got the logo in white now. I'm going to close this, head over into here. And I haven't tried this before, but I'm hoping when I eventually refresh the Elementor builder that these styles will be applied to the menus in here. That would be pretty fancy. First, we're going to add this image. So let's add the image and upload our logo. Add our alt text, insert media. Now we have our fancy logo up here in the middle. Click on update, and I'm going to refresh. And I want to see if those CSS styles are applied. They are. Isn't that fancy? That's pretty cool. Let's drag this over, make the width just right. This one on theirs, I always have to make sure because I'm doing this so well, I have to make sure I'm actually on their site and not our pretend site here because it's pretty much identical. So this menu looks like it's shifted to the right. So our menu in here, we want to make sure that we are aligning it to the right, which apparently is an option in the Pro version, not in this version. So that's great. We'll deal with that in a minute. Okay, so let's refresh out here. Actually, I didn't save that column adjustment. Let's refresh out here. And now we have our menus all on the line. This one's supposed to be shifted to the right, so let's do that right now. More custom CSS because the free version does not allow much to happen with the menus. Instead of float left, let's try float right. Now we're getting somewhere. Change float right for both of those. Then it is how we want it. Let's go back into the customizer. We're going to not copy and paste the whole thing, just copy and paste the selector. And I'm going to undo the float left and make it float right. And then publish. And then come out here and refresh. And now, there we go, float to the right. We're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. The sizing is a little bit different. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's add the menu at the bottom. So they have their menu. This is the one that needs to come with us. So it's the sticky one. So I'm just going to add a new section down here. I'm going to give it 2 columns because we have a button. This button is not part of our menu. This is our menu. This is our button. So we want to have 2 columns in my little example here. We're going to add the menu to the left-hand column. So let's add menu. It's the main menu. Let's get the styling right on this menu before we add this button. So let's click on update and let's come back out here, come back to ours, refresh, because we want to get the ID of this menu. So let's inspect it. And then UL ID menu, main menu. That's pretty good. And the styling is incredibly similar. If we go to the square one, so the styling of the menu up here is pretty much the exact same. Just the difference is the colors and a hover effect. So we're going to copy most of these same styles. So we're going to add our main menu here. We don't want the bullet points. We want it to be floated left, just like these ones. So we're going to add it here. We want the color to not be white. So we're not going to add it here. So we're going to make a new rule. We're going to make the color of this one whatever this color is. Let's take a look. And our color is this gray right here. So let's copy that. And then we have a hover color as well, which we didn't for the others. Got to add an A. I might have to add an LIA, but I might not because all the links are, there's only one set of links in there. They're all in the LIs, but we'll see. So if we add a LIA and then colon hover for the hover pseudo selector, we then come back out here, click on Hov, click on Hover, and we should have a new color being represented right here, which is the same color as this button, it turns out. Don't ask me how I remember that, but I did. Click on Publish, come back out here, refresh, and our menu down here should be looking pretty solid. Not quite as solid as I would have hoped because I didn't add the LI to the float left right here. So let's add the LI there. Publish. Let's refresh again. It's looking pretty solid. The size looks a little small. This one looks a little bit bigger for some reason than the top ones. I could be wrong. I want you to go away. There we go. So the font size is also 11. That's pretty solid then. All right, so I want to refresh in here so that we get the new styling applied. Of course, if you have Elementor Pro, you don't need to go back and forth. You can just add custom CSS. If you go to advanced, there's a custom CSS tab, which is in the Pro version, and then it updates right away. Not like we're doing here. We have to go to customize, put in our styles, update, come back in here, refresh, then it applies them. Small price to pay, but if you already have Pro, this is a lot easier. If you want to get Elementor, there's a link in the description down below. It's an affiliate link. Purchasing Elementor through there does not make it more expensive for you, but Elementor does send me a small commission, which helps support me in this channel, helps keep the lights on. So I really appreciate if you want to get Elementor through there. If not, I'm showing you how to do this for free. So you can do all this stuff for free. I'm going to add a button over here now. Let's wrap this up. Button. If I could spell button, this widget would stay on the screen. Have our button. I think our button is very similar to this one. So I'm just going to copy the styling from that button. I'm going to right click on it, copy, right click on here, paste style. Now we have similar styling to that button, at least when it comes to font sizes and things like that. What does our button say? Get started. And now our button says get started too. And I want to change it to have a background color of white or non-existent one. You can't actually tell what theirs is. Text color needs to be gray, the same gray as our menu. So let's get our menu gray here. And let's put that in there. And it has a border, has a solid border. The color of that border is not the same as the menu. It's quite a bit lighter. So let's inspect this guy. Let's check on the span. There it is. There's our border. Border color of this guy. And it's only 1 pixel wide. So let's change the width to 1 pixel. We're getting there. See if we can line this to the right. We can. That's pretty sweet. Now we have some spacing issues because theirs is aligned in one line. If you had a ruler, you could put it on the screen. I've actually had clients who put rulers to the screen to measure things on the screen. So if you have a ruler and you do that kind of thing, you could confirm these are lined up using a ruler. I'm not going to do that because that's a terrible, terrible thing. It scars the person doing the work on the website. It scars them forever. Let's make these margins 0 and padding of 0, just so we're working on a clean slate here. So now I'm going to add some margin, actually padding to the top of this one. So let's add a padding of 10. Not quite there. There we go. You can see the bottom is aligned. And I'm kind of guesstimating here. I might actually have to get a ruler and put it on the screen. I won't, I'm kidding. It brings tears to my eyes when I think of that. Okay, now we have our junk set up more or less. I just want to add a 1 pixel border like they have to the bottom. So I'm going to click on the 6 dots, go to Style, go to Border, add a border type, and it's going to have a width on the bottom of 1. It's going to have a color of the same color as this button border, which was, I don't know which color that was. Let's get the button border color. So to fix the hover on that button, apparently. Okay, the border color here. So change the border color to that guy. Let's click a different, click out. So we have a nice border down there. I can't actually hover over it, but you get the idea. Let's change the hover effect over here to what theirs is, which is just a highlight of that text. So click on Style, go to Hover, change our text color to the background color. That's pretty close. Make the background color transparent. Text color to that. Now if we hover, now we're there. Look at that. That font looks a little big. Let's change it to size 11 because that's what everything else is. There we go. Let's save this. Come out here to our version, refresh the page. Now we have our menu down below. Looking pretty nice. We've got our hover effects. We've got our border bottom. We've got pretty much the whole thing set up. What we don't have yet is the scroll because A, there's not enough content to scroll, and B, we haven't set it up yet. So I'm just going to add a bunch of dummy content. It's going to add a section here with just text. Okay, there, that's enough text. Look at that. That's a whole novel right there. So now we have our text here, but our menu's not sticky yet. So we've been thwarted on the very last step. We can't make this menu sticky with the free version of Elementor. I checked in their documentation here. It says go to header, go to advanced, and then choose scrolling effect, which is not there in the free version. So you go to advanced, and it's just not there. So I'm going to install Elementor Pro, and I'm going to finish this off because there are some of you guys who have Elementor Pro who might want to recreate this. So I'm going to do that. And if you stick around, I'm going to show you how to make this image parallax in the free version of Elementor. That is a pro feature, making things parallax, but I'll show you how to do it for free after I show you how to do the sticky menu. So I'm just going to install Elementor Pro, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've installed Elementor Pro. If I refresh this page now, first I'll save it actually. save my changes, then I'll refresh, and now we should have that option appearing after I refresh. So I click on the 6 dots for the section, go to advanced, and now we have the scrolling effect, which we didn't have a minute ago. Click on that, change it to top, click on update, and now we come out here, and one of the difference in our sizes is they have a boxed website, I just noticed. So they have gray bands on the side because their site doesn't go full width, whereas the demo we created does go full width, and that's probably why things look a little bit bigger. But if we scroll now, I think I refreshed, we have our menu come with us. However, I didn't add a background color. So let's go to our section. Let's add a background color to our section. White is a pretty good choice. Click on update, come back out here and refresh. And now we have our menu being white. And we have, I think, successfully recreated the square page that we set out to create. Scroll down, sticky menu, pretty good. The sizes are a little different, the fonts are different because they have a custom font, or logo image is a little bit bigger. That fine tuning is great if you want to add another 2 hours to this tutorial, but if you can fine tune on your own, then you can go ahead and do that. Because it's just what we did before, just click buttons and adjust things. But we recreated all the functionality that we were going for. And I promised I'd show you to make this image parallax without the Pro version of Elementor. We do have the option of making things parallax now that I have Pro installed, but without Pro, all you have to do is come out to your site. Just see here, it's not parallax, so I haven't applied it yet. Click on Inspector, need to get an ID or some way of selecting this background image. So let's see. This is where the background image is applied. This is the selector here. Let's just copy and paste this thing. Put it into our CSS here, open and close the curly brackets, and add a background position parameter, attachment parameter of fixed. Publish, refresh, close this, inspector. And now, look at that. That's a parallax background right there. That's literally how easy parallax is. It's this one rule. It only works on background images, but that's how you do parallax outside of Elementor Pro, and really on any website outside of any theme builders. You don't need theme builders. In fact, everything theme builders do has a basis in CSS and or JavaScript and or HTML or some combination of all that front-end code. So anything a theme builder does, you can recreate manually using a combination of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, quite often just CSS. The sticky menu, however, is JavaScript, so you have to do JavaScript for that, but it's still doable without Pro. You don't need Pro, but having Elementor Pro sure does help a lot, makes things go a lot faster. And that is the end of this recreate tutorial. If you like this kind of tutorial where I recreate existing things, let me know. And I hope Sebastian watches this because this is the one he wanted to recreate. And there we go. So that's how it works. I hope this video helps you. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Check out our Facebook group, link in the description. And next, click one of these videos that popped up on the right-hand side so you get even better at WordPress. Until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.